Hello and welcome back, everyone, to CEA Valorant. Sir Waltham and Mox back again. Mox, we took a little bit of a vacation last week, but now we're back. And in the time we were gone, Astra, that's something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't keep us away, could they? When I was asking in the Discord earlier and saying, is Astra available? It's only been a couple of days since she's been out. And I got the message back immediately that yes, she is very much available to play in this match. And I believe that I think both of these teams are going to be coming in and picking her, just Wolfen because she is really good in that team environment, right? When she's a solo player in solo queue, it can be a little bit harder to pull off, but when you have that team play and more specifically the communication going through, the fact that all of those utilities, the stars that you drop can be used through walls without line of sight is going to be absolutely massive in terms of blocking off approaches to these sites.
I have to definitely agree, Mox. It does come with the caveat that because she's one of the newer characters, might not be as much practice time for players with her. But, sometimes players will just decide, hey, we're still early into this thing. Let's just give it a shot, get a little bit more of that proficiency under our fingertips.
I mean, when you think about all of the stuff that she brings to the table, the fact that she has 15-second smokes, that she has that gravity well that you can combine with pretty much any utility on the board in terms of agents, right? You can use the Raze with it, you can use the Sage with it, you can use the Brimstone ultimate with it. The possibilities are absolutely endless. And then the concussion, all of the stuff that she does, it affects her team, it affects her, but it can still be extremely powerful and extremely suffocating to be able to walk into. But it seems like none of these guys are actually going to appeal to her. It may be that same mentality that you were talking about, Wolfram, that she is so new into the game that everyone wants to stick with what they're familiar with.
I think that definitely so far looks to be the case. Of course, before we get too much farther, do want to mention the teams we have here today. It's going to be Spot and Telfy, a little bit of a wordy name there, but it's what they chose. Can't argue with it either way. And Alphabet Soup are going to be going up against each other. So definitely looking for this. Spot and Telfy, though, Moxie, a little bit more familiar from last season as it's composed of a composite of the two different Intel and Spotify teams.
Yeah, we got to see these guys in action last season here at CEA, where they had a pretty damn good performance. I know I remember Frijolitos being a very
Yes.
good Phoenix with those flashes, and Curveball still exactly the same as it has always been. It's going to be extremely hard for Alphabet Soup to try and walk into any of these places, a short garden, without getting flashed out.
Definitely have to agree here. And it looks like Alphabet Soup are going to be starting off on that defense. So we'll see and make sure that they get all set up here as we take a look at the weapons coming out. It's going to be a few ghosts, well, quite a few ghosts coming out for the defensive team.
Yeah, no frenzies. It used to be in the old days where you would be able to buy the frenzy and that armor, but those days are long since past. Now the Ghost and Classic can shine once again. I mean, you've got the Killjoy who's going to be on the attack, the Reyna going to be on the defense. You could get aggressive with that one, right? But you can already see the champ is making sure that not going to get flashed out, going to get a little bit more intel. They want to push on that A site, and it is completely barren right now, as the defense has opted just to push aggressively 10B and see if they can find anyone.
Defense not finding a lot, and that's going to give the offense a little bit of time to set up as we're tuning in with Eric on that Omen, having a few abilities in pocket, but attack not really taking advantage of this open site to get an early plant down. It's going to be Noveil trying to send out that Owl drone, but gets caught out by the Killjoy's abilities there. Eric trying to take trade shots here, but Derek ends up getting the advantage here. This is Disney continues to push up, uses that curveball to some great effect. Toastomper quick to follow up with them. The attackers have got the plant and the numbers advantage here, Mox.
Yeah, Spotinfo was going for a little bit of a gamble in the hopes that Alphabet Soup would push on that B site, and that's going to be a lot harder to get this recontest when there's only two of you shooting into an already set up team. That will be Alphabet Soup picking up the first round and putting themselves in the favor to win that second as Nice Spotinfo. They've got a big decision. Do you hold on to your cash and wait for that crucial third round that we see teams so often do? Or do you try and force up so that you can make sure that Alphabet Soup don't get to increase that lead?
Certainly a question that they're going to be toying around with here, but it looks like the Spectre's going to be coming through for the attacking team, and no big surprise there. They do have a little bit of cash to throw around.
Yeah, Spotinfo are actually going to be opting into the classics themselves, so they are saving up for that third round. if you can get one of these Spectres away from Alphabet Soup, then you can try and even things up, but you can see that they're already being extremely cautious. They know that they don't have the advantage in terms of weaponry, so they'd rather full stack on one of these sites and be able to push as a unit than risk going toe-to-toe with Spectres when they've only got classics.
As we can see now, A-Site once again a little bit more revealed than prior. No Veil again trying to go with that Owl Drone, takes a bit of damage while in that ability. It's going to be causing them to be a little bit hesitant, especially with no heals on the board. Spike now has gone down, and the defense really need to try to make something happen here, but it's going to be hard with those classics.
Yeah, you can see as well, Alphabet Soup are just more than content to wait for Splutintilfied to try and come out of these approaches because they know they can get that superior spray through. Splutintilfied, they try to go with that numbers play, but Alphabet Soup have widened the distance. There's nothing the classics can do in this engagement.
We just see Panic holding the corner steady, perhaps trying to wait for somebody to turn around and get the weapon from them. Not going to happen, though, as this is Disney. Who's a little bit more dominant with that weapon.
Yeah. Good choice from Splutintilfied. We're seeing that they are getting that game sense going on, right? That you can't just go 2 versus Spectres of a full team, but now they can afford to actually buy into this round. The rifle's going to be coming out. Alphabet Soup seem like they want to just keep those Spectres. They didn't really lose anyone in that last round, so their economy is looking extremely clean, whereas Splutintilfied are still in a very rough, precarious position. If they lose this round, their economy is going to be in absolute shreds.
Certainly seems to be the case here, Mox, but the tempo is going to be on them to make something happen here. Once again, the defense, well, this time rather, the defense looking a little bit more equalized across the field, not removing all that force from A, and it's going to be a little bit more of an even push from the offense as well, kind of scouting out that hookah area with that Brimstone, deciding where exactly they might want to go.
Alphabet Soup looking like they want to put a little bit more pressure on that B site. The Cypher camera should be able to spot them out as soon as they move through, especially if that trapwire has not given up engagement. Toestomp are going to be using the smokes to try and get the team safely through, but Splutintilfied know exactly where they're going to get pushed now.
An excellent Sova recon arrow coming out. Derek MC actually getting the first kill, or the second kill rather, of this engagement. So far it's looking like even numbers for this team, but now the defense starting to lose a few more members, and they need to be very careful here. They can start to let this get away from them if they're not too cautious. But we see the Phoenix and the Omen carefully pushing from that defender spawn.
Oh, Panic has 12 HP. 2 layers left, that could be huge. You don't need to have much HP if you can get that layer out and distract Alphabet Soup to set up a crossfire, and that's all that Reyna needs to do right now.
That's exactly what she does, gets the kill, makes it the third as well. The defuse will come through, and now the defense swing back.
Oh, sometimes you just need to have that utility in that recontest, and having 2 layers in your pocket is more than enough for Splutintilfied to be able to come back into that one. Remember, that was a round that they needed to win, Wolf, and their opponents were coming in with Spectres. They full board into the rifles. And while they're able to get 1 point on the board, that economy is still not looking as clean as they want it to. Imperial Heroes and Amro both holding on to classics right now. It's Alphabet Soup opting into the full buy, wanting to pressure that defense and break this economy when they can, so that they can start really exerting that aggression that we like to see attacking teams on Bind.
And we'll see Freelios and Amro go in with a little bit more than just the classics, but not too much to rely on there. As Recon Arrow once again coming in from the Sova on the defense, going to be revealing the attacking team's positioning. This is Disney now going to be going for that ultimate orb. Does have the run it back now, might be looking to initiate with it, get some entry frags or at least a little bit of scouting reveal. Gets 1 kill onto No Veil. That is a great start, as now Toestomp are quick to follow up again. See the swarm grenade going out from Bear Trap, trying to really dissuade that push from spawn. Exactly what's going to be happening. That smoke obfuscating the view, but still buying a little bit of time for the spike to go down. Numbers still looking very good for the attack.
Oh, Freal Heroes is going to have to come out of back as well. That's the curveball ready, but you're going to get given away. Manages to get the flash, so still is able to get out of that engagement with their life. And Champ looking extremely low is again flashed. Freal Heroes able to pick up 1, but not able to take out that crossfire. Bear Trap being an absolute menace from Hookah.
It's all going to be on to Eric, trying to take down the Phoenix and the Killjoy, but the Killjoy, Bear Trap just catching Eric in an appropriate naming convention there.
Oh, you can see that both of these teams really understand that weapon economy and how they have to play. Alphabet Soup sensing, even though they'd lost that last round, that Splutintilfied, their economy still wouldn't be clean enough, that they'd lost enough members that some of them would be forced onto things like the Ghost. that all Alphabet Soup need to do is get aggressive with the rifles and just wash over with superior firepower. And by then, you've just crippled that defense too much, even in the recontest. They can't return. And now we're going to see Splinter fight again on that very broken buy. Ghost, Spectre, little smatterings of armor, and Hunter's Fury already coming out from Noval, trying to some avail to find a kill with that ult.
Not finding anything just yet. It's going to be the showstopper going in that Raze, getting aggressive. Frialitos almost gets the kill, but Derek proving to be a little bit better than that. Emerald still hanging back a little bit distant from their team, and because of that, Novail is going to be the next one to fall. Defense need to start shaking things up a little bit. The plant is going to start going in. This is Disney looking for the optimal spot there through the firewall. Does get it down as the firewall collapses and tries to push into showers now. And this is Disney going to be trying to take that corner against the Omen and finds Eric.
Oh, this is Disney. Beautiful curveball coming out to make sure that that kill comes through. And now Splinter being completely sidelined. Amaro has no chance of getting through a short alive, and Alphabet Soup walk away with another point on the board. And we've seen how aggressive this team gets when they know that they have the tools and that their opponents don't have what they need to stop them. I'm looking at this lockdown that's called in for Bear Trap, and I am 100% seeing this team just aggressively push onto one of those sites, drop that ultimate, and force this defense away.
We'll see if that's going to be the plan. The defense a little bit of a ways away in terms of score from their opponents, down to 3 already. We're going to be seeing rifles this round, though, and this is when the defense needs to try to build up some econ. Yeah,
this is exactly the round that Alphabet Soup just want to wash over Splinter, who are going extremely aggressively down Phantom. And unfortunately, they lose the Reyna, they lose the Sova. There goes your best way of getting information, and also your best way of engaging.
It'll be very tough now. Frialitos trying to make it happen with this Phoenix once again, but gets pushed back by the Swarm Grenade. Has to be very wary that Killjoy continues to throw those Swarm Grenades down there. Amro is going to get one and get a little bit of information. Bear Trap is going to be revealed. Going to be taking the corner and winning the fight against Amro here, as Frialitos now the last remaining member that is on point. The Omen slowly trying to make his way back, and the run back might have just helped out a little bit.
Well, it's actually going to force the attackers to use that lockdown to try and push Eric Ives go aggressive to take it out, or to back out and let Alphabet Soup get that timer. He's been spotted out. The defuse should be coming through in just a couple of seconds to try and pay, and that's all that Bear Trap needs to be given away.
That was an impressive play coming there from the defense. They start off, I believe, losing a few members down, and then through the resiliency, able to just pick themselves back up and hold firm, Mox.
Yeah, they wanted to go aggressive at that start to try and make sure that they could get the Killjoy away, that Alphabet Soup didn't feel comfortable just rushing onto one of the sites and chucking that ultimate in, because Splinter, they knew they were coming in on a round that they needed to be able to win, or their economy would be in absolute disrepair for the next couple of rounds. But some really quick thinking from those 2 remaining members means that they're guaranteed the round, that their economy is looking a lot cleaner, and while they did lose a few members in that engagement, forcing 2 of them to pick up Bulldogs, you're still now starting to even up that scoreboard, and you're crippling Alphabet Soup's economy, so they can't just buy things like ops and absolutely roll over you.
Very true, an important round for the econ of both of these teams. It's going to be the Sova drone. Amro got to be able to hear that, waiting for it to come out of the window, but didn't quite catch him with that sight, so might just be waiting for somebody to hop over that ledge. It's going to be the recon arrow going out from the attackers, but again, still not going to catch out that Sova. Now, Telly going to be coming in from the defense, all trying to push onto B, but immediately, just like that, the attacker is going to be pushing onto A.
Oh, beautiful fate coming through. The Nanoswarm forces Splinter to try and wrap around and catch Alphabet Soup as they come out of Hookah, but Alphabet Soup, they've given them the runaround. They're all on the A site, and now it is that recontest. Orbital Strike up and available. So Splinter, they can't group up the way that they're going. It is so dangerous, Wolfen. They're all coming from the same angle. If that ultimate comes out, they're absolutely dead.
And they're going to have to push into that Raze, who knows where they're at because of that bomb, buddy. Shots coming through. Eric trying to maintain this high ground, but does have their location revealed for quite a while, I might add. And that bomb is getting faster and faster. Got to be very careful. And the Hellfire coming in as well. The Orbital Strike from Toastop are going to make sure that nobody can get to that bomb too easily. Frialitos able to claim back a few kills before dropping themselves, but in the end, it will just be the attackers who managed to come out victorious.
I mean, in that engagement, you have to be able to kill the Killjoy and the Brimstone before you were able to get anywhere near that spike. You saw that Alphabet Soup, they were just playing for time. First the Nanoswarm comes out, and then when that's run its course, Orbital Strike all to make sure that Splintify not only do they have to fight for their lives, but they just can't get their defuse going. And now, this is where it gets a little bit rough for the defense, right? You're coming in again on that eco buy. This Alphabet Soup. They're on the rifles, they're on the full armor. They know exactly how Splintify are going to be playing, and they can get aggressive, punish the fact that Splintify need to get up close to make any of this damage actually stick. So you're going to see a lot of pre-fire coming through as they try and figure out which corner Splintify are hiding around.
And we're gonna have to take a step back, just trying to mitigate that damage coming in from the fireball. As now we look here, the attacking team continuing to push very hard onto B and very decisively. It's gonna be the bomb that initially goes down that swarm grenade, preventing anybody coming in from that angle area. No Veil there, able to take one down, picks up the gun, but not able to hold on to it for too long, as this is Disney does take them down. Defense strike back with one kill, but so far it doesn't look like you're going to be able to push into any more. It's just the Reyna, and it can only do so much. Takes down one, a great start here, or two rather. It's now just the Brim and the Sova. The Leer coming in doesn't really seem to net a whole lot. Panic throws in another one, tries to get aggressive, but can't quite find it. Gives their position away just a little bit, but it's going to be the Brimstone. Toe Stomper taking the kill.
Yeah, unfortunately, Reyna just does not have that information that's available to her like the Sova. You saw, always checking, first making sure that Gardens was safe, then making sure that the crate on that site was safe, and all that did was just drain away the time that the Lee had come through and tried to impact. Sees the Sova, but unfortunately does not see that crossfire coming through. Alphabet Soup rack up another point on their board. Splintify, we've seen what happens when they feel like their back's against the wall in that defense, especially in terms of economy. Novale is holding on to that Hunter Tree and wants to try and unleash it as soon as that round begins to try and find a kill to make sure that Alphabet Soup just can't move forward. But it didn't find much value last time, and it seems like the Sova has learned. Don't just throw that ultimate away when you don't have any sense of information on where that team is playing.
Defense in a little bit of a better spot than they were last time, now rocking a few more Vandals and a Phantom. If they lose this one once again, their economy is going to be looking pretty rough. As now a heavy load towards B on the defense. Bear Trap trying to fire through Hookah, but just like that, looks like A is going to be the primary push. That Killjoy still going to be hanging around, perhaps just trying to cause a little bit more distraction, force out that investment from the players. Friolitos has to back up for a second.
This is Disney is sensing this is the moment to attack. Run it back coming through, trying to cut off the Phoenix's escape from Lance. He's able to start an engagement, but Real Healers should be able to get out and heal themselves with those hot hands. Fuse will be coming through. And that means that it is now that recontest, but Hunter's Fury are already coming up from the defense, making sure that they can't group up.
And the defense doing well with that mayhem. Derek MC and This is Disney, however, leveling the playing field just a bit, or rather equally there. Toe Stomper trying to catch the Omen, but gets caught out by the smoke. Eric takes the opportunity to take down Derek. Eric and Derek, kind of like that. But Novale tries to fake the plant, and now everybody's just trying to keep cool. Eric manages to get their third, goes for the classic, but not going to be getting it. Amro taking it from him.
Oh, beautiful Hunter's Fury coming out for what's in Soulfire. Using that plant, Noise the Q where the spike then shows up on the map to anchor where your ultimate is going to make sure that Alphabet Soup don't get a clean reposition as soon as that recontest is about to come through and can't aggressively, most importantly, push in on your members who are trying to get into position through Vance. Open defense to come through, and that was a round that, as you pointed out, they needed to win. Each and every single one of the rounds for these guys is extremely precarious when it comes to that economy. It's not too far that they can't come back, but if they start slipping any more points, especially if it hits that 5-point differential, Splintify are going to have a much harder time being able to hold on.
Neither of these teams sitting in exactly a comfortable economic position right now. It just has not been going in their favor, but right now, we're going to be seeing the attacking team once again going for that B lean. See the Phoenix like going towards as well. And now Bear Trap leaning in towards the Hookah, waiting for those abilities. It's going to be the Owl Drone, however, to do a little bit of scouting. And the defense not getting too far ahead of themselves, allowing themselves to just gently have pressure on both those sites. No information really revealed, it seemed, for the attacking team just yet. It will be the recon arrow shot down before anything can come out. As now the showstopper going to be coming online. Derek trying to find something. And the attacker's trying to invest a lot here, but not finding too much. It's going to be the run it back from Frielitos, not finding anything either.
Well, they do manage to find the Phoenix. Alphabet Soup able to come in with a numbers advantage now. Spike still hasn't gone down. There it is. This is Disney getting that plant through. And now, unfortunately, you're not able to obscure your line of sight. Novale able to come out through elbow, picking up that turret so it can't set that crossfire up. But you've already, unfortunately, lost too many members. This crossfire is set up absolutely beautifully from Alphabet Soup. And poor old Amro has absolutely no utility left. There's no choice but to walk out of that smoke straight to their death.
Yeah, that elbow was really brutal for a couple of the members of the defense. They just got caught in there. They didn't really know how to get out of it. We saw the Sova try to fire some darts through, or some arrows through, rather. Didn't really seem to quite find them what they needed, and because of that, we're seeing the punish definitely come through, Mux.
Yeah, and you can see as well that Alphabet Soup, they look for the numbers. They look for that one kill, even if they're on the site, before they go for that plant. And unfortunately, in that recontest fight, you really do need all hands on deck. The second that Split Into Fight start losing those numbers, they start losing control of the site, and Alphabet Soup can just set up these crossfires that, unfortunately, this defense has had a really hard time, and there it is, first kill already going in the favor of the attacking side. Look at them, they're already starting to rush onto that A site, knowing that Split Into Fight just have not got the numbers to try and keep control of the angles.
The numbers or the firepower here, Mox. Again, that short-range weaponry being contained by the defense makes it that much harder to push if you're already nestled into a position where you can keep eyes from a distance. As we now see Derek MC trying to throw in some of those abilities, the grenades going out, trying to choke down that small hallway. Panic having to take a backup as that Molly does come through. Novale going to be trying to get some sort of scouting, but doesn't find anything. Derek nicely crouched behind some boxes.
You will have a crossfire if the defense is able to move in at the same time. Unfortunately, your Cypher is going to be spotted out. You can already see Alphabet Soup are keeping a watchful eye on a Heaven and Short. And this poor Reyna with the buck is just not going to be able to get onto the site without taking absolute bullets through the skull. Alphabet Soup, sensing that they've already won the fight, they'll be able to pick up the straggling Cypher and Reyna as they get out. And now we start to see that point differential that I talked about, well, from 5 points now. Split Into Fight's economy is not going to be looking good. Good news for this team, and it is a small sliver of hope, is that this is the last round in the half. The economy is not going to continue, so there is no point in saving up any of this currency. You've got to spend it all now.
It's going to be Vandals across the board with one lone Phantom coming in from Eric, and right now, this might be the opportunity for the defensive team, Split Into Fight, to try to get some sort of benefit back. We've been seeing it go 2 in favor of the attackers, then 1 in defense in that order. So it's right about turn up for the defense. As now the attackers looking to poke and prod. Again, a couple of abilities going out, but the Killjoy pulling out the lockdown and be clearing out a large portion of that A site.
Well, Panic trying to go aggressive is actually going to be able to get that Brimstone, starts the heal. Will be found out, but the flash is sharp.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, there's that crossfire that we talked about. Alphabet Soup are just so good at putting themselves into 2 of these different approaches and absolutely sandwiching Split Into Fight right between that fight. Lockdown has unfortunately not been able to actually get Alphabet Soup onto this A site, so they will have to come through A shot, but there's no one there to pressure them.
Oh, Eric is there, doesn't get taken out, or doesn't get seen because of that firewall. Tries to fire through a little bit, but they're only gonna have to try to buy time for the rest of their team to get regrouped. Most of them did rotate towards that B site. Bear Trap taken down early on. That's all the Killjoy utility gone and off the field. Frielitos gonna be doing their part there. Just 1 member remaining. The Phoenix has to try to make it happen. This is Disney waiting for that diffuse sound to go off, trying not to get caught. As Frielitos does go for the diffuse. This is Disney able to get the kill. Does get revealed by the Cypher ability. It's all up to this Cypher to try to make it happen. The Molly gonna be coming out. Amro doesn't get the diffuse, killed out instead, and with that, it was looking so good for the defense, Fox.
Oh no. Okay, that wasn't unfortunate, but now if you're Split Into Fight, you don't have to worry about the economy difference as much. You just have to worry about starting off this round half right, and all of that comes down to pistols. Because if you lose pistols, Alphabet Soup are just going to keep running away with this lead, getting the weaponry, the economy all into their favor. Splatoonify have got to be able to win the pistols to put themselves at the best chance to come into this series. It's not absolutely integral, but it is going to be a huge contribution to their loss if they're not able to come out on top of this round.
Certainly have to agree. As we look ahead, again, a lot of ghosts coming in at this time from the attacking team. Not necessarily looking to push as one cohesive unit. They do have that Cypher over leaning towards A, but Eric now going to be pushing on towards Hookah, seeing what they can find the one member with the classic.
Yeah, Panic going to be using that ult up, giving a little bit of heads up, potentially trying to lure someone from Alphabet Soup into an engagement so that Splatoonify now the ones with that crossfire, but Alphabet Soup are extremely patient. They're just waiting for Splatoonify to try and reveal themselves because the attackers are just going to be walking right into that gunfight.
And it's going to be Amro getting the first kill. This is Disney taken down. And just like that, now the defense looked like they may be having a little bit of break in resolve, pushing it towards that A site. Nope, but it's going to be the attackers as well. And Raven opening there for the attacking team. Instead, it's just going to be them trying to equalize their manpower. It's going to be the grenades and the molly going out into showers, trying to mitigate the pushes coming through there. But now the Omen taking the teleporter, perhaps going for a B maneuver. But again, the defense quick to respond, and it leaves A now a little bit more exposed.
The defense are being extremely good at this rotation game, right? They're just tracing that spike through. Beartrap gonna immediately be putting a swarm grenade down, hoping to catch someone as they fall out of Hookah and through that window, but I think it's actually a little bit too short. Ooh. No one can stop that pressure from Elbow. Derek able to get two, and Beartrap holding strong, able to pick up that ghost.
10 seconds left.
Amro with 22 HP does not have the spike. I can only hope to try and get one of this defense down, but it is not to be. Derek able to pick up another one. And so you could see that they were going for that runaround, right? That they managed to get one person away, that they still had a little bit of pressure on B. But because they took so long going back and forth between each of the map, just hesitant on which side they actually wanted to push, when the push actually came through, Alphabet Soup just had all of the time in the world, whereas Splatoonify had to move in really quite rushed to be able to get that time back.
Certainly agree. That was a tough-looking spot, especially considering that, you know, you're the team that invests more heavily into the armory. You don't get anything with it. Now you give over that weaponry to your opponents. Not as prevalent here as we do see the Spectres coming out for the defense. It's going to be This Is Disney using that Spectre to some good effect as they get 2 kills, healing themselves up with that hot hands. Now holding down in showers. Immediately Derek able to take down one, make it a third, and with that the defense putting one more point on their board, and it's looking very good for them.
Yeah, same as we saw in that first half, right? Where Alphabet Soup are able to just win that round, and they know that Splatoonify are going to be coming in with the classics, with the ghosts. Alphabet Soup fall back into the Spectres, and they just push aggressively. They don't allow Splatoonify any say in how that round goes. Before it's even started, Alphabet Soup have walked away with that win. Now, though, they're keeping a hold of the Spectres. This is the exact same thing that they did last time as well, and Splatoonify hopefully are going to see that pattern and know that with the rifles, with the heavy armor, they should have the say in how this fight goes down, but it is all going to come down to whether or not they allow Alphabet Soup to get that first kill.
Even aside from the firepower here, it seems like the attacking team has just been so much more dominant at taking this tempo. We'll see if they change that up a little bit. Beartrap immediately going to be getting the first kill, so it seems like it just might be the case for Elitos. However, able to take them down in exchange. And now B-site looking a little bit more exposed, a little bit more open, especially as Derek MC going to be dropping here to the Omen, although that was a little bit closer to the A site. Now we see Hookah slowly being tempted by the attacking team. Site trying to be pushed towards, and for the champ going to be taken down. This is looking very good for the attackers.
So much cleaner as well, making sure that all of these approaches, all of these angles, elbow, Hookah garden is clean, so that you're not going to get rushed by an Alphabet Soup on that recontest. Splatoonify able to get the spike down, but more importantly able to take that round. We do have an Empress called in for Panic, who has been extremely good at trying to go for these aggressive plays, right? When Splatoonify have been able to get that round on the board, a lot of it has come down to the Reyna, who, no surprises, for their team is ahead of the kill count. That's exactly where you want your Reyna to be.
As we do look ahead, it's going to be a little bit more discombobulated from the defending team. We're seeing the auto shotgun come out onto the field. Bear Trap perhaps using their utility rather more than their firearms coming through. We'll see if it provides them the benefit that they need. It's going to be the Cypher going for the attacking team towards A, but as we look, Bear Trap just trying to get their utility still set up. Again, it can be so crucial when you can't lean as heavily on your weaponry. Maybe the Owl drones flying right by each other, giving each other a good idea of where they might be, but Panic's the only one who gets spotted out by the recon bolt. As Nami's just taking a very slow rotation onto this B point.
Oh, you don't want to walk through Hooker. That is where a lot of that Killjoy utility is set up. And more importantly, a Bear Trap, with that Judge just waiting for someone to drop through that window. But since if are actually going to be leaning towards that A approach, Showstop already going to be coming out from Alphabet Soup just to buy them some time. But it's on that wrong site. They're expecting a full rush from Gardens. That is one ultimate wasted.
Yeah, Toestomper now going to be seeing that there's abilities coming out. Gets taken down. That's going to be enough for the defense to have to try to react. Killjoy going through showers as the rest of the team comes through the spawn. Question is, will they be able to get a little bit of the squeeze going here? Bear Trap the opportunity with that auto shotty, but not quite able to find it. Instead, it's going to be Panic, and now things again looking very good for the attacking team. Empress does come out from Panic to keep themselves up and as active in this fight as possible. The recon bolt coming out from the Soba does manage to pull one from Friolitos, but that's about it.
This is why it is so important to have control of all of these different approaches so you can set up the crossfire. Because for both of these teams, the reason why they've been able to get those points on the board is for the exact same reason. Whoever has control of more of the space is the one who's coming out on top of these engagements. And for Splutinsilfy, a lot of that means you have to have your members, all of them, alive when you hit those sites. And for Alphabet Soup, it means you go in aggressive, you try and get that first kill falling into your favor.
Where to set this goes here.
And I would definitely say that the composition favors the defense in terms of that, right? They've got the Raze, they've got the Killjoy, they can just spam down A short, B long. All of these places to try and force Splutinsilfy to take damage before the fight starts. But that also means you go aggressive, you put yourself into line of fire. Now Splutinsilfy can push aggressively onto the B site knowing that the Killjoy's gone.
It's exactly what we're going to be seeing here, that B site now getting possessed. Phoenix trying to come through that spawn with their Brimstone. As Soba continues to maintain elbow. We hear that reload coming through for Yolitos. Trying to lean in with the flash, just forcing this is Disney to back up for a moment. The cage comes out telling them exactly who is where. For the champ, however, able to get one. Amro being forced to drop the weapon, as is Panic, and now for the champ might be able to pick up something better, but no, instead goes for the recon dart, doesn't find anything, and does get taken down. It's all up to the Phoenix and the Raze. The Raze dangerously low though, but Derek doesn't care, takes the shot onto Novail.
Yeah, able to get the shot onto Novail, but not able to get the shot onto the remaining members of Splutinsilfy, who are able to get another round on the board. As Alphabet Soup, the only ultimate available to them is that Hunter's Fury, but remember, they were coming in on a broken buy in that round, right? The odds were stacked against them in terms of that weaponry. Now we're going to see that evening out rifles, heavy armor for both of these teams. The main difference is that one of them, that economy is looking a lot cleaner. Even if you're able to force Splutinsilfy to part with these rifles, they can still afford to buy them back into that next round. The same cannot be said for Alphabet Soup.
As we can see here, run it back going to be available for this attacking team, Splutinsilfy. As we see, perhaps maybe they used to get some severe aggression there, maybe rob a member or two of the weapons that they need to drain that econ. We'll see as this develops, but this is Disney actually taken down incredibly early, as that Phoenix was trying to just relocate. Not quite sure how they went down there. I believe it was the Cypher, but now it looks like the position is going to come in towards B, as the defenders don't quite look like they know where they want to defend.
Yeah, we are seeing, however, that Bear Trap is holding far closer to the back of that site rather than towards Hooker, which was where he was punished last time, and that means that all of that Killjoy utility is still there. And Splutinsilfy are forced to stand in Hooker and take this bullet fire from the defense.
And for the champ, going to be throwing out the Hunter's Fury, but stuck in a very uncomfortable spot. Panic holding steady, getting the kill, and now the plants coming in with only a Brimstone to contest coming in from spawn.
Toestomper has a fair few of the Brimstone utilities available. Already wants to try and drop those smokes to let himself safely through. Hasn't actually dropped one through Hall, or back rather. Is trying to use that to make sure that they don't know where that Brimstone's playing, but now the gig is up. He's going to try and fake the defuse and force Friolitos to go into this fight, and he's actually going to use the ultimate just in case. Splutinsilfy did not want to give that round up. They knew that Alphabet Soup had full board into that round. They knew that the defense would be. crippled in terms of economy in this one if they lost it, and that's exactly what Splintercell are buying into.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a gambit there coming in from the Phoenix. If your Reyna goes down and you don't have that run it back, you go down, then all of a sudden it's going to be looking a little bit more equalized in the wallet department. But now, looking a little bit more friendly for the attacking team, who have done a great job at picking themselves up and closing this lead.
You have to feel for Bear Trap as well, because the lockdown could be that saving grace for Alphabet Soup in this round. But unfortunately, Hunter's Fury is up for Novale, and every single Sova with their Salt knows hold that ultimate, use it to cancel out that lockdown. And it means that Alphabet Soup are forced to just keep that ultimate to their chest. It is a game of ult chicken. The question is, Alphabet Soup, can they afford to blink?
We will certainly find out now as the attacking team looking a little bit less aggressive than we've seen them before, but will be continuing to try to push up that recon bolt. Gonna be landing, knowing that the teleporter, or the gardens rather, entry is going to be a little bit occupied right now. Derek MC has the auto shotty. Eric catching them out though with that flash, the curveball coming in from the Phoenix. Excellent opening there into Hookah, but this is Disney able to turn back with Amro getting taken down. That Cypher all by themselves. Been a consistent attempt from this attacking team.
Well, Spudding Spike are going to hit this B site. Spike picked up for Eric, but again, the Killjoy utility just so hard to actually push into without keeping your health bar safe. Unfortunately, Petrap goes down completely overwhelmed by that attacking side. And now Toe Stomper, we've been here before. Is the only one left trying to push him, but even that is not allowed. It's free Lohitos. He goes hunting, and he finds a Brimstone's head.
That's so unfortunate for Bear Trap. They see the Reyna go into that Wraith form, that Wraith-esque form, and tries to focus on them, but just gets hit from the side by a Mack truck, and by that I mean by a Vandal shot to the dome, and such an unfortunate spot to be in. Again, you said it, just overwhelmed.
The good news for Alphabet Soup, though, is that because they did go for the eco last round, they can afford the rifles this round. And if there's any round that you would want to invest your lockdown, it is this one. That, unfortunately, is where the good news ends, though, is Splintercell coming in 4 ultimates, and one of them is still that really bothersome Hunted Fury that Novale is just holding on to, waiting to ruin your day.
See exactly how this shakes down for these teams. The defense holding steady, trying to maintain their nerves for the time being. Novale has that recon, throws it out, or the shock dart rather throws it out. Doesn't seem to find a whole lot here as this defense continues to try to just keep their nerves consistent. Toe Stomper, again, has those Brimstone smokes to keep Gardens a little bit oppressed, but also got to consider the fact that it allows for that rotation to come through a little bit more freely, opening up that path towards Teleporter. As for the champ, continues to throw in that recon.
Well, Empress is going to be coming out. Splintercell decided to make a move. Because there is still a presence around this B site. They could still try to bait Alphabet Soup, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Panic uses the ultimate Sankyu to try and pull that defense away from that B site, and it works. Eric able to use teleport all the way into Elbow. And unfortunately, Alphabet Soup, they thought that they were being pushed on A. They got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, it will be Toe Stomper who does manage to get one, and Bear Trap going to now be putting in a very uncomfortable position where the attacking team has to try to maintain this. They can't take down that ultimate just yet. Friolinos, however, able to take down 2 more off the back end of this. This is Disney, goes for the peak. Friolinos gets their 4th. Nobody detained from the Killjoy lockdown. Now it's going to be all up to Champ to try to make this happen. But the run it back is there from the Phoenix. It's put right back into place, and for the Champ, playing very carefully, very cautiously, and for time.
Left on the Sova, and that's just not enough. And Splintercell, even if you had lost the players to the Sova, the time was just draining away. You could see all they wanted to do was just keep that Sova from going for that defuse, and now Splintercell closing up that gap rapidly. Alphabet Soup, this was the reason why they pulled all of their forces towards that A site. They knew if it was wrong, they would be able to try and come back with that lockdown, but Splintercell were able to deal with it. Now, Alphabet Soup, they're forced on the eco judges coming out. 3 ultimates for them, but one of these has got to find a kill. Showstopper could be used extremely aggressively to try and equalize that balance, but Splintercell are going to know that. Look at how they're pairing up. They're making sure that if a race does come aggressively for them, someone's going to be there for that trade.
We already see the aggression come out. Novail able to take down Bear Trap. That's one of the Vandals you had in your hands. Gone now for the side of the defense. And the attacker's going to be feeling a little bit confident about that, especially with 6 wins on the back end of this round. I see the attacking team still not getting too aggressive, not pushing on what they might perceive as the defense repositioning here, although it is slowly going to be a lean towards A. Be careful because that Raze is still in shower, has the showstopper in pocket, and can really bring the hammer down.
They've got to be able to figure out where this Raze is. Of course, that showstopper is going to hit whoever's trying to plant, but the Raze is actually staying just a little bit further back. And look at Derek!
Oh no!
Manages to get panic as they come through the teleporter. That should give a heads up on where that Raze is playing and where that showstopper could be, but Novail went hunting and is unsuccessful. This Raze is still very much a problem for this team.
That's going to be the Phoenix trying to chase that Raze, but that just brings them away from the site that they need to now defend as the retake coming in here from the defense. Amro able to take down 1, and the Bomb Buddy as well. Going to have the location revealed, but again, the attacking team just trying to play for time. It's going to be the defuse that's going to come out here. Orbital Strike as well to clear things out from the attackers, and looking like time is about nigh for the defense as the attackers very close to evening out the playing field.
Yeah, Orbital Strike comes through from Alphabet Soup, right through Lamps in the hopes that they'll be able to stop whoever is coming to contest that defuse, but unfortunately that is not what Splinter were playing, and so the ultimate comes out, the defuse is stopped with the bullet storm that follows it. Now 10 to 11, things are so close between these teams, but what is not close with them is the economy. Because Splinter have been able to wrap all of these rounds row after row after row, Alphabet Soup are just looking at such a precarious position. Every single one of these rounds could potentially be a force moving forward.
See exactly how they want to operate on this as the defense needs to regain some composure here. The attacking team, however, getting very aggressive right onto A site. 4 members moved up past teleporter. Eric going to be going in for the teleport onto the boxes over the smoke as the Raze continues to push ahead. Doesn't see Eric on top. It doesn't, however, matter too much as Novail is going to be the one to take the kills there. The Phoenix trying to come through. Novail quickly dashing through the teleporter with Spike, and now might be looking for a B plant.
Is looking for a B plant, but has absolutely no idea how many people there were on B. It seems like it's actually going to be, once again, the big old wraparounds. Suppose in SoFi, they're going to go back to the A site, having just forced everyone from Alphabet Soup towards the B, but this time, Waltham, Alphabet Soup don't have the lockdown to try and initiate that recontest. Sensing something's up, for the chaff is starting to inch towards that A site. But unfortunately, the defense, they're really going to get the message when that spike goes down in 3, 2, 1, there it is.
And just like that, the response is going to be coming in the defender's spawn now. Going to be the one being held. They have to push through Panic and through the Sobo. Still has that Hunter's Fury on a line, so they might just be using a little bit of information gathering from the Reyna before they opt into it. Exactly how they choose to go about it. Killjoy going to be setting up utility on the high ground on that heaven, trying to get the ability to scan that wide swath of land. Novail has the Hunter's Fury, doesn't go for it, instead trying to take the shots. Doesn't quite connect though, but the defuse certainly will, as the defenders finally claiming back their first point in a while.
Oh, I think I would have preferred to see Novail go for that lamp hold and try and use the Hunter's Fury. That sound cue that comes through when the defuse starts is all you need for the information on where to send that ultimate, but unfortunately the positions were reversed. And now it is Alphabet Soup sitting on match point. They're the ones with the Hunter's Fury in their pocket. Spots in SoFi, they've got to be able to get this round in. And well, they're going to go for the rifles. They can afford them. Alphabet Soup, they can afford them too, though. It really is going to come down to which of these Sovers is going to find more value with this ultimate.
Fortunately for the attacking team of Spot Intel Fi, they don't necessarily have a weak economy. It's going to be Champ throwing in that Hunter's Fury. Has the recon dart stuck into Novail, so Novail not going to have that Hunter's Fury on the board. That's a good opportunity to get the spike a little bit closer to your team, taking it all the way towards spawn. As Panic now trying to push up. Eric, however, getting dropped by Bear Trap, and this is looking very good for the defense. We only need 3 more kills to get this victory.
Yeah, Split Intel Fi trying to go aggressive to get that numbers advantage to even up. Unfortunately, now they're down 2-1 with an ultimate. And Alphabet Soup, they know the longer that Split Intel Fi actually take to push onto one of these sites, the more at a disadvantage that attacking team is going to be. Unfortunately, Spot and Sulfide, they just have to walk into the crossfire. Unless they can bait Alphabet Soup into repositioning, but there's no one on A to provide any sort of that play.
One enemy remaining.
Bear Trap did get that lockdown online. Doesn't quite matter as they get dropped immediately after. And Toastopper trying to get the shots into Hookah, can't quite find it. Friolitos diving in a bit too aggressively, and with that, the defenders are going to be taking this, but a decent showing coming in from the attacking Spot and Sulfide.
Yeah, I mean, they made a really good comeback, right, when those sides swapped, and you have to ask yourself what would have happened if the sides had been reversed when the series had actually started. Unfortunately for them, they'd lost that series the second that Sova got picked before having used Hunter's Fury. You went aggressively to try and find a little bit of that information to go for that original kill, but it revealed your position the second that you got tapped out. Well, that's when Spot and Sulfide had to go aggressive. We saw Eric pushes up, tries to find that kill to try and even out the numbers, but that's all that the defense were waiting for. They're able to pick one other person out, and from there, it's just all downhill.
All downhill indeed. It's going to be leading to the victory here, or rather the loss. But as we look ahead, Mox, we do have, of course, an interview from one of the members here. We will be getting word back on who that's going to be, but we will be taking a short break, folks, so stick around. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Sir Waltham and got Moxie back at it with CEA action. But we just came off the back of Alphabet Soup versus Spot Intel Phi. Going to be This Is Disney hopping into the interview booth with us. So This Is Disney, hello and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, my friends. Now, I want to get right into it. There was a time period where your team was struggling a little bit on that back half to really get their footing when all y'all needed was, a couple, 2, 3 more points, more round wins to get the victory. What was the mindset going in towards the back end where it started to get a little bit more towards that 10-13 realm?
Yeah, I think definitely, we started off with a pretty significant lead, and then, they caught up pretty quick, like you said, almost to like the 13-10. So I think when they were like catching up, there was a little bit of frustration with the team, obviously, just because, we only needed 2 more rounds, I think, for a several number of rounds, where we were 11 to, X number of rounds that they had. So I think that there was some frustration, but I think it was really good that we just kept communicating with each other and trying to figure out what their play style is. We saw that they like to do a lot of fakes as well and rotate through the teleporters. So I think we adapted to that well by staying put on our sides more when coming to defense.
So then to sort of expand on that, can you sort of run us through one of the comms, like how you would figure out whether it was a fake and how you would sort of act around it?
Yeah, so for us, we found that they really like to fake B a lot at the start, and we also had Killjoy there, which was our only Sentinel playing on that side. So we knew that if we over rotated from the A site, that they would definitely, especially I think what they found was like if we started to Brim smoke, they would start to rotate just because Brim was one of our A players for the most part. So what we did was we would have Brimstone, smoke off for the B site, but then we would still have people like come back towards the A site and hold that on defense so that we'd be ready if they were to do that quick rotate.
So you sound like you know the map bind extremely well. Is there sort of any reason that you pick it? Is it your team's go-to or is it something
Um,
else?
yeah, so our go-to is actually Ascent. We've played that I think maybe 2 or 3 times these past few weeks, but the enemy team actually chose to ban that map, so we just kind of fell back on bind. And although we didn't play that map as much, I think that's definitely one of the like we just talked to each other before the match started and tried to figure out what map would be like what best for us in terms of preferences and whatnot. So bind was just kind of the map that fell for us.
And sort of to sort of go into the whole wider Valorant, we know that Astra just got released on the second. We also know that she was viable, but neither of the teams picked her today. Is there any reason that you guys stayed away from her?
Yeah, I think we just needed some more practice with her before playing her. She definitely has a really interesting kit, and really excited to get to play her some more as we get further on in the competition. But for the time being, our Kev Bun, who is our main smokes player, he usually plays Omen or Breach, and that's what he's comfortable with. So we just thought it would be good. I'm not Breach, Brimstone, but but we knew that since that's what he's comfortable with, and since Brim is pretty good on bind, we thought that would be a good choice to have.
Well, it definitely worked out well.
Yeah, I certainly don't think the scoreline's going to be showing too much hurt for you folks there. Just with that change or with that character selection coming through. But either way, once again, this is Disney hopping into the interview booth with us. Very greatly appreciated, my friend. But before we let you go, do you want to give the opportunity for any shout outs you might have for your team, the enemy team, anybody you feel deserves it?
Yeah, sure. I just want to shout out Kev Bun, for the champ, Lawrence, Derek MC, um, Bear Trap for subbing in for us on quick notice. Thank you so much. Um, and then Jack and Kavi, who weren't able to play with us today, but are also part of our team. So shout out to all of them.
All right, much love amongst the team. Always like seeing it. Once again, this is Disney. It's been a pleasure having you in the booth.
Thank you.
And with that, Mox, I think we are about ready to wrap up our production day. Not a whole lot of Valorant going on, not as much Astra as I'm sure you would have liked, but sometimes we just have to take those victories where we can get them.
Sometimes we just have to wait until a couple of days when the teams feel comfortable running it. I mean, I understand. She's definitely a very complex agent where you do have to have that communication coming through. And I'm sure when she does come to CEA, I'll be extremely excited when it happens.
And who knows, it might even be next week. But folks, the only way you're ever going to find out is if you tune in with us again. So until next week, we'll see you then, and stay safe, everybody.